It was supposed to be a homecoming, but for Ethan Black, it became a nightmare he would never forget. After 7 long years abroad, the billionaire finally returned to his family's mansion, the one he built, the one he left behind when his wife died and his newborn twins were taken care of by the housemaid. He thought he was coming back to love, laughter, and little footsteps echoing through the marble halls again. He didn't know that the laughter had been replaced by silence. And the truth, oh, the cruel truth, was waiting for him inside those gates. The night was cold when Ethan's private jet landed. Reporters flashed cameras, shouting questions. "Mr. Black, how does it feel to return after 7 years? Are you planning to take over Black Enterprises again?" Ethan only gave a faint smile, hiding the storm behind his eyes. He wasn't coming back for business. He was coming back for his children, as his black Rolls-Royce pulled through the massive iron gates of Blackwood Mansion. Ethan's heart thumped harder. The house looked older, darker, almost haunted. The vines had crawled up the marble pillars, and the once bright garden was now covered in dull leaves. "Sir," said his driver softly, "should I announce your arrival to the staff?" Ethan shook his head. "No, I want to see everything as it is, not as they want me to see it." He stepped out of the car, his shoes crunching on gravel, his breath forming tiny clouds in the chilly air. The mansion door creaked open slowly, as if the house itself recognized him. And then he saw her, standing in the dim hallway, dressed in a simple black maid's uniform, her hands trembling as she lowered her eyes. Mara, the same woman who once rocked his babies to sleep. The same woman who sent him letters for years that he never opened because he couldn't bear to remember the life he'd lost. "Mara," Ethan whispered, disbelief flooding his voice. "Is that really you?" She nodded, her eyes glistening. "Welcome home, Mr. Black." But there was no warmth in her tone. No smile, only Faya. Ethan walked into the grand hall. Dust covered the piano his wife used to play. A family portrait hung crooked on the wall, him, his late wife, Sophia, and the twins as infants. "Mara," he began, his voice cracking. "Where are the kids? Where are my twins?" Her eyes widened. She looked toward the staircase, then quickly away. "They're asleep, sir." "It's late." He frowned. "Asleep? It's barely 8. They always stayed up for me when—" He stopped himself. "When they were little. Something wasn't right. He could feel it." "Mara," he said more firmly. "I've been gone for years. I deserve to see them." Mara swallowed hard. Her hands clenched around her apron. "Please, Mr. Black, not tonight. Tomorrow I'll bring them to you." They need time." Ethan's tone dropped cold and sharp. "I've waited 7 years. I'm not waiting another night." He started toward the staircase. That's when Mara's voice cracked, almost a whisper. "Please, don't go up there." He froze mid-step, turning slowly to face her. "What did you just say?" Tears streamed down her cheeks. "I'm begging you, sir. You'll regret it." But Ethan didn't stop. He stormed up the stairs, heart pounding, footsteps echoing like thunder in the empty halls. The air grew colder as he neared the twins' room. When he reached the door, it was locked. "Mara!" he shouted from the hall. "Why is this locked?" "Sir, please!" she cried from below. "Don't!" He slammed his shoulder against the door. Once, twice, the wood cracked open, revealing darkness inside. The first thing he saw was rope tied around 2 small chairs. And on those chairs, 2 sleeping children, heads resting against each other, wrists gently bound, not cruelly, but tightly enough to stop them from leaving. His heart stopped. "What the hell?" He rushed to them, untying the ropes, shaking them awake. "Liam, Lily, it's me, Daddy's home." The twins blinked open sleepy eyes. They looked older, 7 now, maybe 8, but there was no recognition in their faces. The little girl shrank back. "Who are you?" The words stabbed him like knives. He looked over at the boy, but the boy's face was blank, empty, scared. "Mara!" Ethan's voice roared like thunder. "Get in here now!" The maid stepped inside, her face pale, lips trembling. Why are my children tied like this?" Ethan shouted, voice breaking. "What happened to them?" Mara fell to her knees. "I didn't hurt them. I swear, I only kept them safe." "Safe from what?" Her silence was louder than any scream. Ethan's chest rose and fell rapidly. The twins clung to each other, their eyes darting between him and the woman they'd grown up calling Mama. Yes, that's when he realized it, when the little girl whispered, trembling, "Mama, who is this man?" And Mara broke down, sobbing uncontrollably. Ethan stepped back as if struck. They think you're their mother?" Mara couldn't meet his eyes. "They don't know, sir. I didn't tell them. I couldn't." "Couldn't?" he shouted. "You let them believe a lie for all these years?" She covered her face with her hands. "You were gone, Mr. Black. Everyone thought you'd never return. Your company said you disappeared, that you didn't want them. She gasped for air. "I couldn't let them feel abandoned. They were just babies. They needed love." Ethan's eyes filled with tears, torn between rage and heartbreak. "So you replaced me?" "No," she cried. "I tried to protect them. You don't understand. There were people who wanted them gone. Your brother. Your company. There were threats." He grabbed her shoulders, shaking. "What threats?" "Speak, damn it!" Her voice dropped to a whisper. "Your brother wanted the inheritance. He said, if the twins disappeared, the Black fortune would go to him. I hid them, Mr. Black. I raised them as my own, because it was the only way to keep them alive." Ethan froze. His blood turned cold. "Are you saying my own brother tried to—" She nodded, trembling. "Yes, he's the reason your wife died. The reason you were forced into exile." The truth hit him like lightning. Ethan staggered back, collapsing into a chair, eyes wide, heart shattered. He looked at his children, his twins, who stared at him like he was a stranger. "Daddy?" the boy whispered uncertainly. "Are you—" "Really our dad?" Ethan smiled through tears, voice breaking. "Yes, son, I am." But before he could take another step, the sound of tires screeched outside. Headlights cut through the curtains. Mara's face went white. "He's here," she whispered. Ethan frowned. "Who's here?" She looked at him with pure fear. "Your brother." And then, the front door slammed open downstairs. A cold voice echoed through the mansion. "Welcome home, Ethan. Took you long enough." Ethan turned toward the sound, jaw tightening, fury replacing the shock. The man he once called family had finally come to finish what he started. If you think this was shocking, wait till you hear what happens when Ethan discovers what his brother really did to his wife. The moment the front door slammed open, a chill swept through the mansion. Mara's trembling hands gripped her apron, and Ethan's heart pounded like a war drum. The sound of slow, confident footsteps echoed from the hallway, the rhythm of a man who believed he owned the world. "Ethan!" the voice called, deep and calm, but laced with poison. 7 years. "And you didn't even send a postcard." Ethan turned toward the staircase. There, in the faint glow of the chandelier, stood Damien Black, his younger brother. Dressed in a tailored suit, silver hair slicked back, and a cruel smirk twisting his lips. Ethan's jaw clenched. "What the hell are you doing here?" Damien spread his arms theatrically. "Why, welcoming you home, of course. This is still my house, isn't it?" "Your house?" Ethan stepped forward, his voice shaking with fury. "Everything you have belongs to me, to my children." Damien chuckled, taking a few slow steps closer. "Your children?" "Oh, Ethan. You've been gone so long I almost forgot you had any." Mara flinched at the venom in his tone. The twins stood behind their father, clutching each other's hands, terrified. Ethan's fists tightened. "You tried to erase them," he growled. "You tried to erase all of us." Damien's eyes glimmered. "Erase? No, brother. I simply cleaned up your mess. After Sophia died, you vanished. Someone had to step in. I built the company back from ashes while you were hiding in Europe, wasn't it?" Ethan's eyes narrowed. "You know damn well I didn't disappear by choice." Damien smirked. Yes, I heard your story. He was framed, betrayed, forced to flee. How tragic." He took another step forward, lowering his voice. "But you were never meant to come back, Ethan." Ethan's pulse raced. "So you admit it," he said coldly. "You're the reason my wife is dead." The smile faded from Damien's lips. For a brief moment, silence filled the air, thick and suffocating. Then he spoke quietly. "Sophia made choices, Ethan, choices that got her killed." Ethan lunged forward, shoving his brother against the wall. "Say her name again, and I swear—" Mara screamed, "Mr. Black, please!" as the twins cried out. Ethan stopped, breathing hard, his eyes burning with rage. Damien smoothed his collar, grinning again. "Still the emotional fool, I see. You think you can just waltz back in here and take everything from me? I'm not taking anything that isn't mine," Ethan snapped. "This house, this company, my children, they're mine, and I'm not leaving again." Damien's grin widened. "We'll see about that." He looked at Mara, who stood frozen in fear. "And you," he hissed, pointing at her. "The little maid who thought she could outsmart me. Did you really think I wouldn't find out what you were hiding upstairs?" Mara's eyes filled with tears. "Please, sir, I only—" "Silence!" he barked. "You kept them from me, from their rightful guardian. You lied to everyone." Ethan stepped in front of her protectively. "If you touch her, Damien, I'll end this right now." Damien laughed softly. "Protecting the help now, are we? How noble. But maybe you should ask her why she really stayed all these years." Ethan froze. "What are you talking about?" Damien smirked. "You think she raised your twins out of kindness? Out of loyalty?" He turned toward Mara. "Tell him, darling. Tell my dear brother what you really did." Mara's lips trembled. "Please don't!" Ethan's voice was low but firm. "Tell me, Mara, right now." Tears rolled down her cheeks as she whispered, "He's lying." Damien's laugh cut through the air. "Am I?" He reached into his coat pocket and pulled out a small silver locket. One Ethan recognized instantly. His late wife's locket, Sophia's. Ethan's heart stopped. "Where did you get that?" Damien dangled it between his fingers. "Found it in the maid's room." Ethan turned to Mara in disbelief. "Mara, why do you have my wife's locket?" She covered her mouth, shaking her head. No, I didn't." Damien smirked. "Oh, but you did. And not just the locket. Do you want to tell him what else you kept hidden? Or should I?" Ethan grabbed Damien's arm, snarling, "Stop playing games!" Damien's eyes gleamed with satisfaction. "Fine, you want the truth? Here it is. Your precious maid wasn't just protecting your children. She was protecting herself. Because the woman you trusted most was the one who betrayed Sophia." The room went dead silent. Even the ticking clock seemed to stop. Ethan's voice came out as a whisper. "That's a lie." Damien shrugged. "Ask her." Ethan turned to Mara. "Tell me he's lying." Mara shook her head desperately. "I never meant for any of this to happen, sir. I swear. Answer me." Ethan's voice thundered. "Were you involved in my wife's death?" Mara's knees buckled. She collapsed to the floor, sobbing uncontrollably. "I didn't kill her," she choked out. "But I knew." Ethan's face went pale. "You knew?" She nodded through tears. "Sophia found out Damien was laundering money through the company. She came to me terrified, said she was going to expose him. That night I saw the car leave the estate. I knew something was wrong, but I said nothing. I was scared. I thought if I stayed quiet, everyone would be safe." Ethan staggered back, the world spinning around him. "You let her die." "I didn't mean to," Mara sobbed. "After she was gone, he told me if I spoke, he'd kill the children too. I had no choice. I raised them. I loved them. I kept them hidden because I owed her that much." Damien clapped slowly, mockingly. "Touching, isn't it? A maid's loyalty bought with fear." Ethan turned on his brother, eyes blazing with hatred. "You're a monster." Damien smiled thinly. "And yet, I'm the one still standing." Suddenly, a sound of breaking glass echoed from the kitchen, a distraction created by Mara, who threw a vase against the wall and screamed, "Run!" Ethan grabbed the twins' hands. "Come on!" Damien shouted, "Don't you dare!" and reached for his gun. The kids screamed as Ethan pushed them toward the back door. "Go, Mara!" he yelled. She nodded, wiping her tears, grabbing the twins as Ethan blocked Damien's path. Damien fired. The bullet shattered the glass cabinet behind Ethan. "Go!" Ethan roared again. They raced down the servants' corridor, the twins crying, Mara dragging them through the dark hallway, toward the hidden passage that led to the stables. Outside, rain poured heavily. The world was chaos, thunder, gunfire, and fear. Ethan burst through the back door, clutching his bleeding arm where the bullet grazed him. "Mara, take them to the car!" he shouted. "Get them out of here!" "What about you?" she cried. "I'll stop him!" Damien's silhouette appeared in the doorway, gun still in hand. "You're not leaving again, Ethan. Ethan turned, soaked and furious. You're right. I'm not running anymore. The brothers faced each other under the storm. Two men bound by blood but divided by greed and guilt. Lightning flashed between them like divine judgment. Damien laughed darkly. You always were the hero. Too bad heroes don't survive. He raised the gun, and then a loud bang echoed through the night. Damien stumbled, eyes wide, clutching his shoulder. Behind him, Mara stood shaking, holding another gun, one she'd hidden for years. That's for Sophia, she whispered. Damien fell to his knees, screaming in pain as Mara dropped the gun, sobbing. Ethan rushed to her. Come on, we have to go. He won't stay down for long. They piled into the car, the twins crying in the back seat. As the engine roared to life, Ethan looked back through the rain-streaked window and saw Damien's figure standing in the doorway, clutching his wound, smiling through the blood. You can't hide forever, brother, Damien shouted. They'll never forgive. You once they learn the rest? Ethan's heart sank. The rest? But before he could ask, Mara looked at him with haunted eyes. There's more you don't know, she said softly. About the twins? Ethan turned sharply toward her. What are you talking about? She hesitated, tears glistening on her cheeks. One of them isn't yours. Ethan's world shattered again. The rain outside blurred into nothing as his grip tightened on the wheel. What did you say? But Mara just stared ahead, silent and broken. The mansion disappeared behind them, swallowed by darkness, and with it, every truth Ethan once believed. One of the twins isn't his? The truth just keeps getting darker. Don't miss part 3 of The Billionaire Returns, where the final secret changes everything. The rain didn't stop that night. It followed them like a curse, heavy, cold, and endless. Ethan drove for miles in silence. The twins had fallen asleep in the back seat, unaware that their world was collapsing around them. Mara sat beside him, her face pale, eyes fixed on the storm ahead. Finally, Ethan broke the silence. What did you mean? One of them isn't mine. Mara swallowed hard. Please, Ethan. Not now. Now, Mara, he said firmly, his knuckles white on the steering wheel. I've lost too much already. Don't you dare hide from me again. Tears filled her eyes. When Sophia found out about Damien's crimes, she came to me for help. But she wasn't alone. Ethan frowned. What do you mean? She was pregnant, Mara whispered. But she told me she didn't know who the father was. Ethan's stomach twisted. What are you saying? Mara turned toward him, voice breaking. One of the twins, Liam, he's Damien's son. The words hit him like a blade through the chest. He slammed the brakes, the car screeching to a stop in the middle of the deserted road. Say that again, he whispered. Mara was crying now. Sophia made a mistake, Ethan. Damien manipulated her when you were overseas. She regretted it every day of her life. That's why she tried to expose him. To protect you, to protect the baby. But he found out. And that's why she died. Ethan leaned back in his seat, staring at nothing. The thunder outside roared, echoing the storm inside his heart. After a long silence, he said quietly, He's still my son. Mara looked at him in shock. Ethan? He's innocent, Ethan said firmly. Whatever Sophia did, whatever Damien did, that boy carries my name. My love, that's all that matters. Mara covered her mouth, sobbing. You're a good man, Ethan. He shook his head. No, just a father who's done running. Before dawn, they reached an old cabin in the woods, a place Ethan once used as a retreat. He helped the twins inside, tucking them into bed while Mara watched silently. Then outside, he made a call. Detective Harris? It's Ethan Black. You were right. Damien killed Sophia. I have proof now, and I'm done hiding. He hung up, determination hardening his face.